Hey guys, the second Destiny ViDoc out here in the wild was just released, so I'm going to be breaking it down for you guys. To start, Bungie talk about how they want to create a world that people will want to come back to and to explore. Destiny will have enough variety so that you'll never get bored. First off here we see this creature who we still have yet to learn about. Sadly we don't learn what they are or what they do in this ViDoc, which was something I was hoping for. It looks like it could be Harv, maybe a Harv Queen. Here we have some more Harv. There's Venus. Now this is where things get interesting. This beauty is called the Black Garden and is actually set on Venus. There in the bottom left corner of the screen we can see three of what I believe are the Titan abilities, but one is faded out and that is our super ability, which I'll come to later. Next to that is what looks like a grenade ability, but I reckon it's more than just a grenade, and this is most likely a speed boost or dash ability. Throughout this ViDoc we will see a couple of different iterations of the heads up display. Bungie say we'll be able to travel from Earth to Venus to Mars to the Moon to Saturn, however we still have no word on how we'll actually get there though. This is another drivable vehicle in Destiny called the Sparrow. There the Devil Walker just released a Fallen Shank, which is just one of the Devil Walker's features among some of its other weaponry. Here we have another fight team consisting of a Titan on the left and a Hunter on the right. The Hunter is wielding an exotic rocket launcher called the Yalahorn, which I'll be covering in another video. Also, a lot of people keep asking me if Hunters can only use sniper rifles, and that's a no. Any class can use any weapon in Destiny. Hunters will just be more adept with sniper rifles. We see the Hunter activate his super ability, which I'll come back to later and go more in detail. Now moving on to character customization. Bungie say that the choice of your character's race and class will play a factor in how your character will evolve over time. These are just some of the character models, giving us an idea of the sorts of customization options we'll have in Destiny. This will allow for everyone to be different, even if you're playing as the same class or race as others. Bungie also said that the character you use in-game is the character you will use everywhere. Maybe this means we'll be able to see our own character during cutscenes, just like in Halo Reach. There's going to be some pretty crazy guns in Destiny. Two new names of guns that were revealed in this ViDoc were Cudgel of Xanthor and the Fate of All Fools. Here we see just what sort of things we can customise on our guns, such as the sights, the colour scheme, the barrel, the skin or camo, and there's bound to be tons more. And if you notice, all those guns we just saw were variations of just one gun. Even guns in Destiny will have a backstory to where they came from and how they got to where they are. In Destiny you'll have 3 weapon slots. You have your primary weapon slot for your regular weapons such as assault rifles. Next you have your special weapon slot as like a go-to weapon for when things get a little tight. And then you have your heavy weapon slot for dealing crazy amounts of damage in just seconds. And finally we get a bit about matchmaking. They start off by talking about meeting other players through public events who could be doing something completely different to you, like you could be on a story mission while they could be on their way to a strike. We first heard about strikes in the first Destiny ViDoc, Pathways Out of Darkness, and we recently heard about them again in the Bungie mail sack. No official details have been released on what strike is, but we know it's going to be similar in ways to Firefight from Halo. There's something magical about running into other players, especially when you don't expect it. Players will just seamlessly spawn in without any matchmaking, they just join right in, and sometimes players will spawn outside of your view or off screen to make it seem like they were always there. You don't have to play co-op if you don't want to. You can play solo and go on your own adventure if you choose. If we freeze it here and zoom in, we see these two testing out the game. Now we have this circle on the ground here, which I'm guessing is supposed to be an objective marker. On the left of the screen, there is an objective which reads, Disrupt the Wizard. And at the top of the screen is this red floating thing. I've no idea what this is about, but I thought I would just point it out. On top of campaign missions, strikes, raids and public events, we have competitive multiplayer. However, we still don't get any real info on the competitive multiplayer, sadly. So right here we see this Titan activate a new ability that we have never seen before that looks like some sort of health regeneration bubble. It doesn't look like a shield because bullets still go through it, so you can be shot inside this area, but it does look like it heals the player, or at least is having some effect on the player, as they glow inside this area. Normally you would expect this to be a Warlock, since Warlocks are like the support / healer class, but I think this is a Titan, because if you switch to HD and go full screen or zoom in or whatever, you'll see that there are no robes, but instead armour. I noticed the armour also looks similar to the Titan armour shown in the Law of the Jungle trailer, which leads me to believe that this is a Titan. In the bottom right corner of the screen, we see the game type they're playing is called Rumble, which sounds like a free-for-all game type to me, just like in Halo's Rumble Pit. In the bottom left corner there is a marker telling us the distance to whatever this thing is. I'm guessing this is the objective. At first I thought this might have been an ammo crate judging from those shapes, but if you notice, each gun has infinite ammo, which I assume is for demo purposes, just like in the E3 gameplay. I imagine some guns would be pretty OP if we did have infinite ammo. Moving on, we learn about class abilities known as supers. Super abilities are about raw expression of power. First off, we see Golden Gun, which we've seen before, we just didn't know the name of it until now. Golden Gun is one of the Hunter's abilities, and it appears to give your gun a massive damage increase. When Golden Gun is activated, your gun has flames coming off it, but it's hard to say if these flames are just cosmetic, or if it means your gun is given fire damage. In the corner it shows that the Golden Gun ability only lasts for a certain duration. Next is the Warlock's Radiance ability. This ability looks like an AoE, area of effect attack, although we can't really see exactly what it does. It appears that there are 3 different ways of using this ability. First way is just simply activating it as you stood on the ground. The second way this can be used is by jumping into the air and slamming this orb of light into the ground. And the third way is by jumping into the air and sending out a burst of light from your body. I call it light because I don't really know what else to call it besides magic. Other than wiping out enemies with magic light, I don't know if this does anything else. I can't really spot anything else. If you do spot something, please let me know. In the background there is another monster. Not really much to say about that other than its name is Fergoth. A couple of other interesting things I noticed is that these abilities stack, and each line below the ability represents how many times you can use the ability before you run out. Also, the guns here don't have infinite ammo. In the top right here there is what looks like an XP bar. As I said in the beginning, throughout this ViDoc you'll be able to spot different iterations of the HUD. This next ability is the Titan's ability called Fist of Havoc, which we have already seen in previous gameplay. The Fist of Havoc is an AoE ground pound attack. Lastly, we have the Warlock's Nova Bomb, which we also already know about, we just didn't know it was a super until now. And towards the end of the gameplay we see this, which is obviously a loot crate. I don't think this has been confirmed by Bungie, but I think it's safe to say that the shiny stuff is called Glimmer, and Glimmer is the currency used in Destiny. So that's about everything from the ViDoc. This has got me even more pumped for Destiny than it already was. I can already tell that this is going to be a phenomenal game and so much fun to play with friends. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, thumbs up this video, share it around, follow me on Twitter. It's a great way to keep updated on what I'm doing and when I'm going to be posting a video. That's at DSTNY_Overwatch. Leave a comment telling me what you thought of the video and have a good day, Guardians.